introduce these lovely folks to Dr. Peebles, and
Yes,
I'll ask them a few
absolutely.
questions. We won't keep you long because you know it's taxing on your body, but we really
He'll let you know
appreciate
when it's
your
he'll
journey.
let you know when it's time for me to come back, unless you run out of questions or whatever. But yeah, so no worries. And so just so you know, it's a if you've not seen me go into trance, everybody, and thank you all for being here. I just see all your smiling faces and interesting nodding heads and everything. It's so, thank you everything that you've done for me today. But when I go into trance, it's pretty quick. It's pretty intense and a little weird. So just so you know, I'm going to have a quick swig of coffee.
Yay for coffee.
Yeah. All right, you guys, have a great time. God bless you, Dr. Peebles here. It is a joy and a blessing when man and spirit join together in search of the greater truths and awareness. God bless you indeed, my dear friends, as you strive to understand your right to receive and to give abundance. In this your chosen lifetime, we would like to offer to you the following principles to be used as tools in tandem. Number one, loving allowance for all things to be in their own time and place, starting for yourselves. God bless you indeed. Number two, increase communication with all of life and with respect. God bless you indeed. Number three, self-responsibility for your life is a creative adventure, for through your choices and perceptions, you do indeed create your own reality. God bless you indeed, my dear friends. You have come to the school called Planet Earth to discover and dissolve the illusions of separation within self and between life. Certainly it is your labor of love to diminish these very same illusions, wherein you will discover that never in your eternal soul have you been the victim, but always the creator. And God bless you indeed, my dear friends. You are beautiful spirits, students of the divine, certainly gathering here today, like-minded, like-hearted individuals, learning, growing, accepting, and realizing yourself in the world. God bless you indeed. Yes, my dear friends, yourself, not so much the God outside, but the one that lives within you. That's the one you're seeking. That is the one that guides you. That is the voice that you hear in your head that says, do this or that. And the still small voice within, my dear friends, that empowers you to do the things that you need to do in your life with grace and with ease. You can have an easy life, God bless you indeed, even when you're doing the tough stuff. Because, my dear friends, God is always with you. God bless you indeed. And certainly, my dear friends, you are beautiful spirits, and we love you so very much. You're learning and growing here upon this school called Planet Earth. It is a place where you devise a plan for yourself. You say, well, I'm going to go to school now, and it's the toughest school in the universe, by the way, and I'm going to go to Planet Earth, and I'm going to learn about the contrast, the black, the white, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, and all the rest. And you're going to discover through that process, my dear friends, that everything is necessary. You need the contrast in order to grow, in order to learn. God bless you indeed. And eventually you start to look inside of yourself and you say, well, what is it that I am seeking? I am seeking to love and be loved. God bless you indeed. And so you look for ways to love each other. You try it through sex, you try it through money, you try it through building skyscrapers and hoping people say, what a fantastic architect you are, and such. You find so many different ways in which you strive to get love from the world, and you strive to give love to the world. God bless you indeed, by giving of things, giving of stuff, giving of time, whatever it might be, hoping that the world says, that's fantastic, goodness gracious, thank you so very much. But eventually what you'll discover, my dear friends, is that you are that which you are seeking. The love is inside of you. It's always been there. It's never disappeared. It's just a matter of you deciding to bring it to the surface. And the love, my dear friends, that is already there for you to receive into your life, that is given by God, my dear friends. And so you stop striving to make people love you, stop trying to get people to join with you, and instead you start to live your life authentically, not afraid to speak to the world. Speak your truth and let it jostle whom it may. Speak it with love and allow for the world to see you. Shine your light brightly and know that you, my dear friends, are perfectly beautiful and wonderful as you are. Shine your light brightly and guide others safely to the shore of love. You do and live your life as a demonstration to others of what is possible here. What is possible when you are living life in love, laboring in love in each and every moment with every breath that you take in, every breath that you exhale. God bless you indeed. Being authentic. And that means, my dear friends, that not always are you going to be looking at the world and saying, oh, you're such a good person. I love you so very much. You might look at somebody and say, I don't really like them. Well, my dear friends, guess what? That's your truth. And giving your truth to the world and realizing that, And expressing that and allowing yourself to acknowledge it within you is a loving act of grace and kindness. Striving to be friends with somebody or love somebody and be okay with the way that they are behaving and such, just because you want them to like you and such, is a waste of time. It's just not going to work. It's not going to create anything except angst inside of you. God bless you indeed. To create more love upon the planet Earth, you must create it within yourself. And you say, well, that person is who they are. Let me go find someone else to play with now, because I'm moving forward in my life, in my journey. So you find, and you are no longer afraid of change, of growth, of new experiences and such, where you are being called, my dear friends, to seek something else about yourself, because the learning never ends. God bless you indeed. And that, my dear friends, is the tip of the iceberg. But would you understand? And would you have questions or comments, my dear Susan and Milt? Goodness gracious, we love you so very much. And certainly you are building your Casa de Santa Maria for a beautiful reason, to bring together people of like mind and like heart, which means not everybody's necessarily going to agree on everything, but one thing they can agree upon is that you are created from love, birthed from love, and that is what the journey is all about, living and loving the divine within each other. God bless you indeed forevermore. And does that help, my dear? And would you understand? And would you have questions for us here today? Yeah?
Yes, thank you very much, and nice to chat with you again. I really appreciate your help and popping in every once in a while to help me with friends and that kind of thing. So I know that your work is to help people who are developing their mediumship. Can you give them a little clue on how they can start to connect with spirit more deeply, whether it's God, spirit, loved ones, whoever? Where would be their first start on their journey so that they can feel and experience spirit?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, it would be trust. It's a matter of really trusting what you hear, what you feel. Your mind, body, and body are like an antenna. You feel, you sense all the time, my dear friends. And when you really step into your spirit, you start to realize that your body is at the mercy of your spirit, not the spirit at the mercy of the body. If you think of it like this, my dear friends, you'll start to realize that you are a spirit in a body and that mind that you have, those are the playgrounds for spirit to communicate with you. You feel something. You say, I felt something touch my shoulder, and I looked behind me and I saw nothing there. Oh, well, must have been my imagination. Well, my dear friends, first and foremost, why do you have an imagination? It's the playground for spirit to communicate, once again, symbolically or whatever it might be. And very much so, Susan, you are aware of this in terms of the things that you see visually and such when you are striving to help others with their communication with loved ones and such. A lot of the communication happens through symbology that you learn about when you engage with it. Now, my dear friends, sometimes you might find that you have these thoughts in your head. Why would I think something like that? Well, my dear friends, what if you weren't the one thinking it, but that you were picking up on something that someone else was thinking? Could be somebody in the body, could be somebody out of the body. Could be a trickster spirit saying, hey, you know something, you're not a very nice person. You say, you know something? That was not very nice. Thank you very much. Go your way in peace, love, and harmony. And you talk back to it and talk to it and make it very clear that you are the one in charge of you, and nobody can change that or dispel it. And you start to realize and get a very strong sense of yourself in that journey to the heart, wherein you start to trust the little inklings that you get. I feel like I suddenly need a pistachio ice cream cone and I don't know why. Well, let me go get one and find out. And so you do. And you discover that there you found your soulmate or something like that, you see. Or you find someone who's ready to give you the money to build the property that you want to develop and such. There are so many ways in which the universe can communicate with you in ways that does not have to be difficult. You have a thought, you have a question, and the answer is married to it. So you can get the answer to your questions immediately if you would just stop and pause and trust. You are missing your car keys. Where'd they go? Well, my dear friends, ask the car keys. And we mean it, because everything has energy within it. And you might say, my goodness gracious, I don't think I had the car keys when I was sitting outside on the lawn chair, but I go out there and find it, and there they are. And the car keys are sitting right there underneath. How'd they get there? Who knows? Could be magic, could be somebody's playing a trick on you, but they are there, and you found a way around all of those little tricks and little issues in life that can make things very miserable at times. God bless you indeed. So, my dear friends, you stop, you close your eyes, relax, release, surrender. and just breathe and get to know your own breath. How little you spend time really getting to know your own breath. The miracle of that as it goes in and out of your body, the miracle of what your body is doing for you, cleaning up the toxins that are there. Your heart is beating on its own here. Your spleen is doing the things that spleens do. God bless you indeed. An incredible place in which you live, my dear friends. And you start to honor that and say, thank you so very much for being so beautiful and for supporting my spirit here on earth. And then you might have a question that you want to ask about your mommy or your daddy or another loved one on the other side. You ask for them. Where are you, mommy? And suddenly you see that she's in a beautiful house in a cottage in the woods and surrounded by orange trees. And you start to smell the scent of oranges in the house. And it becomes very real to you. And you start to talk to your mommy and you start to hear things that you never would have made up yourself. And you'll come to understand this. But again, it comes back to trust. Trust is the key. Trusting in everything that you see, hear, taste, touch, feel, and smell. Really trusting it. God bless you indeed. And that means sometimes even when you say, well, I don't know what's down that dark alleyway, but I guess I'll go find out what it is. Is that trust? No, not necessarily, my dear friends. Sometimes you don't need to go down the dark alleyway. Sometimes you need to trust that sense that says, don't go down there. You don't have to enter into that relationship. You don't have to try to force it to fit. You need to move forward from that and do something else here. God bless you indeed. And again, the tip of the iceberg. But does that help, my dear Susan? Yeah?
Very much so, and I love how you already are answering some of the questions I was going to ask. So thank you for that.
God bless you indeed. Yeah.
Yes, because we were thinking about, we're all spirit and we're living in these earth suits at the moment, but we're all headed your way at some point. And it would be fun to know uh, what we're in store for, the delight we're in store for when we get back into spirit. What will it feel like? What is it like? We live in a house, like you mentioned, the person living in a house and that kind of thing. So just give us a little glimpse of the other side. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, well, if you think of the most exhilarating moment that you've ever had in your life on Earth, and you multiply that by 100,000 fold, that's what it's going to feel like. It is a glorious sensation to be birthed over here. And it is extraordinary in ways that I can't even describe in human terms. The colors are more vibrant than you can even imagine, and there are more of them than what you are aware of. And the sounds are more glorious than you can imagine. It's not all silence, you see. Silence can be very loud, really, ultimately. But it's all very sensations beyond your wildest dreams and imaginations where you're not holding anything at arm's length. You want to get to know somebody intimately? My goodness gracious, all you got to do is just simply walk into each other and find out who you are. There's nothing to hide anymore. Can you imagine that? Not having to hide yourself and still be totally loved by the presence of the beings around you and such. You'll have an absolute clear sense of yourself, but you will also know that so does everybody else. And once that lie, shall we say, that you die disappears from your consciousness, then, my dear friends, now you are free. You have freedom and flight of soul beyond your wildest dreams and imaginations. There is no death. There is no death at all, my dear friends. There's only growth, always and forevermore. And as we said, the learning never ends. There's more horizons to encounter, and even yours truly here. I know that there are many, many more dimensions in the Father's kingdom, and that's what is meant by the many mansions in our Father's kingdom. There are many dimensions, many places to explore, many things to do, many experiences to have. How far does it reach? Who knows, my dear friends? And that's the glory of God, is that there is always more. That's the beauty of it. When you surrender to that, then suddenly you're living and existing in the here and now, realizing that everything that you've ever done in this lifetime or any other adds up to this moment right here, listening to an old spook speak through summer bacon. God bless you indeed. Yeah, not a bad journey. Yeah. God bless you indeed. You understand, my dear? And does that help? Yeah.
I do. I can remember you saying one time, if you get everything figured out, then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And
What you're going to do next? When you're enlightened, what you're going to do next?
right, what you're going to do next. Yeah. Milt has a question.
Yes. Hello, my dear friend Milt. Yeah.
Hi, Dr. Peebles.
Hello, my dear friend.
Awesome.
You're a beautiful spirit. We love you so very much.
Oh, well, I love you. It's nice connecting with you again. Um,
God bless you indeed. Yeah.
there are so many troubled and unhappy and frightened people in this country today, wishing that their life was different, more to their liking. My question is, do you have any advice to keep them or to give them a ray of hope?
Yeah, God bless you indeed. Well, you know something, my dear friend. Since the beginning of time, there has been change and growth, and there have been difficult times, challenging times, no question about it. And the one thing that we can say is that for those of you who are still here on the earth, there is a reason for you being here. And for some, it's just to be an anchor of light and love in the world. There are many things that are happening upon the earth. There are always wars. There have been since the beginning of time. There have been wars. There have been people doing things to each other that are very unfriendly and very unkind, trying to control each other and that sort of thing, trying to pull the rug out from each other. But the reality is, my dear friends, it's okay for you to be happy no matter what the times are. If there are bombs dropping around you, it's okay to bake a cake, have a party, and drink heartily whatever it is you enjoy, and to explore and to enjoy the joys of life, even in those dense and dark times. It is not a disservice to anyone to laugh and to smile when others are in pain, because, my dear friends, you're helping to keep the light on and shining brightly. You're not succumbing to the darkness. You're saying, come, come, let us let us grow into greater light and such. It does not mean that you do not care. It does not mean that you do not have compassion. But if you are not somewhere where you can immediately do something and get involved, if you see a car crash and you say, I want to get involved, you get involved. But if you can't, you can't, my dear friends. But you can get involved in a different sort of way by keeping the light shining brightly. Prayer is a beautiful way to do that. Praying for people and their upliftment, praying for those who are really in a place of misunderstanding about life, who are doing things to each other that are very unkind, praying for their upliftment, praying for them to know their beautiful beating heart, to know the love of God within, so that they can too celebrate this as well. Pray for your enemies. You want them to be uplifted. You want them to grow. You want them to see the light. You don't want them to stay where they are, my dear friends, through hating them and casting stones at them, but instead to pray for their upliftment. It is not an easy journey. We want to say that. It is not about the fact that it's going to feel like one big party all the time upon this school called Planet Earth. And you are here during a very particularly difficult time where there is a tilling of the soil right now. And things are being separated out. All the creepy crawlers are starting to be exposed and scattering, and they are not finding places to hide anymore. So they're going to have to grow and such. So lots of things are being exposed, and that is because of the unification of your world in some respects through your internet and things like that, where you are more aware of each other and what's happening immediately here and now than you were able to be in the past, where people were separated so much more so by time and space and such. And but you're finding that you're being fed the information immediately, and that's why sometimes it can be overwhelming. So you also have the option of turning those things off. Turn off the TV, stop watching the news, take time off from venturing out into the world in places that drive you nuts, and hunker down for a little bit and give yourself a break here. God bless you indeed, and enjoy the living in that beautiful body of yours whilst you have it. And eventually one day you will drop the coat of that human form and you will move on and say, huh, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It's over now. Yeah, God bless you indeed. Your life is but an eye blink to us. God bless you indeed. And does that help, my dear friend Milt? Yeah.
Good advice.
You
Thank
know,
you so very much. Yeah.
yeah, very good. I was thinking during that, that so many people, a lot of times during struggling times, people wake up and they call out to spirit, they call out to God because they don't know how to end the suffering or the struggle or that kind of thing. But I see this as a time of great transition and great awakening.
Very much.
A
Yes.
lot of people waking up.
Yes, very much so. Yes, yes. It is very much similar to your time period that you went through during your so-called pandemic and such, wherein you were not allowed to go outside. So when you couldn't go outside, what did you do? You had to go inside, didn't you? You got to get inside yourself, really. The isolation can really create that sort of a need, because you have a need to connect with someone, something, somewhere at all times. People don't, you're not made for loneliness and separation, we'll say that. So where do you go when you can't have physical presence of someone, etc.? You go inside yourself, and that is where you find and touch the face of God within. God bless you indeed. So yes, you are correct about that, my dear. Absolutely, 100%. It's during this time is it is a tilling of the soil. It is a very difficult time. You are moving the planet energetically into the fifth dimension of the deeper understanding of love. People are awakening to the awareness that they are more than just a body, and more people will come to that awareness. The energetics of your planet Earth are going to become something that people will talk about, and not just of the Earth, but of the universe and such. Your scientists will start to talk about love as an energy field that is real. It is not just something that I love you, you love me, that's wonderful, it feels tickly inside my tummy and such. It's not that. It's a much deeper thing that is connecting all of life at all times. You are not separate ever from anyone or anything. You're all in the same soup, so to speak. God bless you indeed. And you have this incredible ability, just like, shall we say, like a spider on a web here, can feel the very sensations of the raindrops that fall upon it, and even though the drop may be very, very far away from where the spider sits, that's the sort of thing that your energy fields are like in your universe. You're all interconnected. You're all woven into this fabric of eternity together. You're not separate at all ever. So God bless you indeed. God bless you indeed. That's a beautiful observation, my dear Susan. Yeah. Very well stated. God bless you indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that validates, my understanding that there's only God and God exists in all things. And if we look for it and we look for that divine love in all things, even those that are separated from it, they are from the divine as well.
Absolutely. You are part of the body of God. Yeah. Really.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Can
Um,
you can you fathom if the cells of your physical body are having little meetings like this as well on their Zoom calls? Yeah. God bless
yeah,
you indeed. Yeah.
very good. Let's see, quite a few years ago, I think it was Milt and you were chatting, and you threw a curveball to Milt, and he says, "I want to reconnect him with a dear old friend." And at that point, Milt had a most wonderful, surprising conversation with Yeshua through you. And toward the end of the conversation, Jesus said he was looking forward to working again with Milt on more healing projects, but no details were given. And so then we were given this message or mission by Jesus to create the Casa de Santa Maria. And is there anything that we need to know about this work, and as we move forward with building the Casa and helping people heal their hearts and reconnect with their own divinity?
Goodness gracious, you know something, my dear, they are so proud of you. And the only suggestion here is really to slow down a little bit more. It doesn't all have to be done immediately. And you have a vision, but see that vision as something that is ever unfolding, like a lotus flower, the ever unfolding lotus flower that is without end. It is going to continue to grow. It is growing. It's constantly growing. And once you release it to the energy to that, that is where you're going to find more people coming and such, wanting to stay, wanting to camp in your presence and such. You're going to find that there will be community events that will be taking place in the area of your land, your property, with group healings and such. With musicians that will have want to clarify that as not just musicians, but individuals who have a tremendous talent for playing frequencies that are very healing and such. You've got a lot of individuals who are going to be very interested in coming to you to ask you if they can perhaps rent the property and other things for events, and so that you don't have to do all the work. That's another part of it, is that enough is enough of you saying, but I don't know what else to do. Well, how about if the thing that the what else you need to do is to not do so much, yeah? Do you understand this?
Agreed. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We're looking forward because we feel like now is the time, we're moving toward, we really want to help people get into their hearts and connect with the divine themselves.
Yeah.
and whatever way that
Let
takes
us
away.
clarify that as well, my dear. You can't get anybody to connect with their heart. You can give them directives, you can set up situations in which that might happen and such, but you cannot ever promise that to anybody. They have to do it for themselves, yeah?
Right.
And part of this with you, Susan, is that you've got such a big heart, you care so deeply, and you want everybody to have the experiences that you've had and to feel it and to know it and to really know that God's love is real and constant in your life. And but remember that as you go forward, my dear, or else you'll find that you'll feel disappointed sometimes because you'll say, I don't think they got it. Well, that's all right. That's their journey. They didn't get it. You see, so make very clear that you are presenting things to individuals for their growth if they desire to partake of it. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you
Thank you
understand?
very much. Yes. Um, Milt, do you have any other questions? Oh, during the conversation with Jesus, Jesus indicated he and Milt walked to planet Earth during the same time. And can you tell me what their relationship was? Jesus a follower of Milt, or what was their relationship at the time he walked with Jesus?
Yeah, they were good friends, very, very close friends. And unbeknownst to them, to either one of them, they were related though, and but they didn't know it at the time. It was the families could be very vast, so they were related, and they were just very good friends. There was no pretense, there was no following, there was no. It was just joy and laughter, a lot of laughter, a lot of joking around and teasing each other and that sort of thing. And they played a game of hide and seek that was quite extraordinary because, of course, Jesus Christ himself could manifest and disappear at will here. And so eventually, Milt, you decided, that's interesting. I want to learn how to do it. And so you learned how to do it. And he says, how did you become how did you become invisible for a moment there? And Christ said, because I know that I am the air around me, and I just became it. And so you learned how to do this as well. How did you walk on the water? Well, I walked on the water because I know that I am the water. So there's no reason why I could not be upon its surface because I am it. And that sort of thing, sort of like walking through walls and such. You can walk through a wall by knowing that you are the wall, and you become that. You vibrate at the same resonance with the wall, you become it, and you walk through it and such. So this is a fascination to you, Milt, and that's where the lines for you became blurred forever, so that you were always a little bit more skeptical of science than you ever were of spirit. God bless you indeed. Do you understand, and does that help? Yeah?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
God
Well,
bless you. Yeah.
thank you for your time. I believe that's all of our questions. We really, really appreciate connecting with you, and thank you for the wisdom that you brought forth. Is there anything else that you feel our audience may need to hear before we let you go and embrace summer back?
God bless you indeed. For the audience that is here today, thank you so very much for being in attendance with yourself, being present for you. And God bless you indeed. You have helped to create a fantastic experience for one and all. You are part of this. You are not just observers, you are participants energetically. And God bless you indeed. We are very grateful to you for this because, goodness, without an audience, to whom would I speak? God bless you indeed. Yeah. And you are beautiful spirits. And realize that we are your audience too. Never think that you shouldn't be talking to us. Talk to us anytime you like, my dear friends. We love the communication. We love the intimacy. We love to know all about you, your frustrations, your fears, your joys, your pleasures and such. God bless you indeed. So there's nothing to hide because you are absolutely perfect as you are. Never any judgment from us to you. God bless you indeed. We love you. We know the difficulties of your journey. It can be very hard, and we appreciate the very fact that you are willing to do the work, to grow and to grow and to grow even more so into the greater love that you are. God bless you indeed. And my dear friends, we love you so very much. We shall allow the dear channel to return and go your way in peace, love, and harmony, for life is indeed a joy, and all you have to do is you enjoy the journey to your own heart and certainly to your own enlightenment is simply lighten up just a little bit more. God bless you indeed.
Very good. Well, summer's getting back
Hi.
in your body. Do you leave your body?
Oh, uh, No, because I know what out of body experiences are, which is out of body. And this is more, I feel really big and large and behind myself because I have to raise my vibration in order for Dr. Peebles to come through. And he has to lower, believe it or not, has to lower his vibration to come through. And if he didn't, my body would burst. It couldn't handle that, the high vibration that he is. So he says like maybe a handprint of who he is comes through. If that's a handprint, my God, it's pretty intense. And so I'm essentially holding a space. Sometimes I'm aware of things that are being said. I'm very much aware of his presence as a separate being from me. It's not me doing it. Very, very clear about that. Sometimes I'm aware of things he says, and sometimes I'm just off doing my own thing. I'm holding that space, but I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do this today or that today, and I'm having my own thoughts while he's chattering away with you. So it's really an interesting process, and I've had a few times where I've just gone blank, just really blank.
And you don't remember anything. What did you
Yeah, and I come out of trance, and that happened at the last open session that I did. I came out of trance and had an audience in Prescott, and I looked at the audience and I thought, what happened? Did I go into trance? Like I had a little moment of like, did anything happen? I was tired, and I had to look at the clock to know that time had passed, which was really, really rather interesting to me. So, and then I was really emotional. That had never happened to me before. I was emotional to the point I cried. And it turned out there were a lot of tears apparently that day. So I must have taken on some things. But yeah, it's different every time though. It's very interesting. And then if I channel for an individual who's very, skeptical or resistant, Dr. Peebles will honor that and be like, okay, I'll just go. It's like, no, they paid for the session. You have to finish it, And so it's really hard to stay in trance for someone who's a skeptic. It's really hard because their energy is just pushing away, saying, no, 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 I don't want you here. So anyway.
What? I'm lost. I went blank.
Summer,
Yes.
we haven't talked much about the physical demands on your body. It's obvious that this is a very strenuous thing. And I recall in one of your interviews, you mentioned there was a study done as to how close.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. How close to death? Is that what you're talking about, Milt? Yeah.
China.
Yeah. That I told this story about there was a man named Krishna Madappa who came to me and said, can I test you or something? And so he came to one of my open sessions. I used to do them every month in Sedona, and he had this machine from this it was from Russia, and it was a thing that they use in the hospitals there when they can't pinpoint. And this is science. I mean, it couldn't pinpoint something in your body if you had, symptoms, but they didn't know why. This could pinpoint where exactly the problem started and originated. And so he was gifted one of these programs, and so he put my fingers in this machine. And before I went into trance, just me, my energy field was like, if you think of it as like a gingerbread cookie cutter shape, it was on the screen. And it's like let's say that was the red line, was my energy field as it is now. And then as I was going into trance, there was another line. It was like a blue line that was outside of the red line, way outside of the red line in that shape. And as I went into trance, that blue line of energy, which was spirit, came inside my body because there was another like black outline of what my body was, came inside my body, and my energy field expanded way outside of it. So the red line is now way outside of my body. That's me, but not outside. It's like more emanating or radiating. I'm larger. And then at the very end of trance, both of those energy fields, mine and Spirit's, became very, 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 very tiny inside of me, like down to this little pinpoint. And Krishna Madapa goes, and that is where you are near death. And I was like, whoa. And he said, that's the point at which Dr. People says it's time for us to allow the little channel to return. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
God. And I said, well, that's why I said, is it weird? Like I drink champagne, and it really helps me to ground after and I don't drink, like if I did a session in the morning or something, I wouldn't like just immediately drink champagne, but I would drink a little earlier in the day than most people, frankly, just because it's like, oh, there I am. And I think it just brings my energy back, to the human level of vibration or something. And I said to him, I said, is that weird or that I do that? And he said, no, 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 not at all. He said, in India, the trance mediums in India, they are in trance with their legs crossed and their legs are vibrating and they levitate off the ground. And when they come out of trance, their body falls forward. And people in the audience rush towards them with offerings of alcohol to help them come back. And so it was like, wow, what an eye opener that was. And to have that kind of, validation and everything, it was really quite extraordinary to actually see it, what happens and everything. It
Well,
was funny. Yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead. I'm sorry.
or you were probably a past life doing that in a past life, and they gave you alcohol, and maybe that just sort of translated into this. So that's kind of cool. So
Yeah, yeah, it's an interesting process. I mean, it's just, and I'm not very one of the things when I started doing this work was I didn't want to have to do anything in particular to do it. I didn't want to have to, stop eating meat, wear Birkenstock shoes. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with any, and I didn't want to have to, uh, do all the things that a lot of people do, chant ohms, have particular crystal in my hand when I'm doing this. I wanted to know that this was just real and that you could just be who you are, and God still loves you, and you'll still be able to do this kind of connection, have this connection with spirit, that I don't have to constantly be walking in this straight and narrow line of having the shoulds that I have to do in order to have this connection. I just didn't want that. And so like I have like no judgment about pretty much anything, that people do, or, whatever it is, about drinking or food or any of that stuff. It's like, it's to each his own, whatever works for you, whatever works for you.
well, thank you so much. This has been
Yeah.
delightful. I've loved to hear your
Yeah.
journey, reconnect, and I've learned some things, and it's been really fun. And so we'll have to do this again, and you know
Thank you.
where we are.
I know, I know. Thank you all so much. God bless you all so much. I really appreciate you guys. And maybe someday I'll get to hear your voices.
Yeah. All right. Well, know you're loved. You're getting a lot of thank yous in
Thank you, Susan and Milt. Thank you so
chat
much. God
room,
bless
and
you.
just want to know how much we love you. And we'll see you when we see you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. Take care.
Bye.